All right, Falcons fans, let's get back to business because we can sit here and yell at Raheem, we can yell at Zach Robinson and everybody in the Falcons front office, but there still is a football game to be played this coming Sunday in Foxborough against the New England Patriots. Falcons fans, welcome into Falcons Today by Chat Sports. My name is Moose. We're going to talk a little bit about how the Atlanta Falcons need to man up against the New England Patriots. How they can nut up or shut up and get the W on Sunday. We got to put the distractions aside. We got to talk ball. Because remember, this is not just an intangibles show. We like to talk about the X's and O's as well. So I feel like I'm just going to get this out of the way and just ask you straight up. Who you got on this Week 9 matchup? If you got the Dirty Birds, type ATL. If you got the Patriots, type your NEs. I'm going to save my answer for who I got with my score prediction for the very end of today's episode. So make sure you hit subscribe and stick around to the very end. All right, let's talk about the Falcons season as a whole so far. Look, it is the tale of two teams. You beat the teams that you're not supposed to beat, and the teams you're supposed to crush, you get slaughtered by. As evidenced by Week 3 against the Panthers, Week 8 against the Miami Dolphins. I do believe that the Atlanta Falcons possess one trait that most other teams don't, and that is the unpredictability factor. You never know which team you're going to get on any given Sunday. The injuries certainly have not helped, but I do believe that even with a fully healthy Falcons team, you have to rely on the secondary in this matchup. This is clearly the best part of your team right now. And if you don't believe me, if you think, Moose, that can't be true, the defensive stats prove it. Yards per game, we are somehow still second in the league. Passing yards a game, we're first. And then if you take a look at everything else, rushing yards allowed per game, we're 23rd. Points per game allowed, we're 13th, so that's not a horrible statistic. And then third down percentage, you got to get the teams off the field on third down because 21st and 39.5% is not nearly good enough. Now, I will say, as much as I'm sitting here talking about what the Falcons need to do to win, I still have a major concern. My main concern for this coming Sunday is the non-complimentary football that the Falcons seem to continue to show week in and week out. The defense can't be stout. You cannot rely on your pass rush. You cannot rely on your secondary if they're always on the field. We talked about this during our live show. When you are a defense that is considered one of the better ones in the NFL, you rely on reactionary. You rely on energy and momentum. You can't have any of that if your offense is constantly going 3 and out. And there's a statistic out there that proves the Falcons, even more recently, have been awful on offensive possessions and just not moving the chains whatsoever. Their down conversion rate. So this is a statistic that kind of proves when you're on the field, how often are you moving the chains? Well, the Falcons move the chains 70.7% of their drives, which might sound like a lot, but then if you look at that, what's compared to the rest of the NFL, it's 23rd in the league. That's not nearly good enough. And this number has actually gone way down in the last 2 games. I looked at it from weeks 1 through weeks, week 9? So week 1 through week 7? No, week 6, sorry. 1 through 6. And they were like 16th in the league. So just the last 2 games alone have plummeted this number all the way down to 23rd. But it's also about Bijan. Because Bijan is that drive extender. He is that chunk yardage player. He's the lifeline, according to Raheem Morris. And the Patriots are fantastic against stopping the run. They really are. They're unbelievable in their run-stopping defense. Opposing running backs right now against the Patriots don't do anything. They have not allowed a single player to go over 50 yards this year. That is insane. Milton Williams is their number 1 defensive tackle. He's clearly proven to be one of the best signings this offseason. So it's going to be tough to run the football against the New England Patriots. Now, their pass defense is all right. It's not nearly as good, so this is a Michael Penix Jr. opportunity when he comes back, if he comes back. And that's my biggest key to victory is you got to let your pass offense eat against the New England Patriots because stopping the run is clearly going to be an emphasis based off of what we saw from the Miami Dolphins. Mike McDaniel said it. We wanted to make the Falcons one-dimensional. You don't think Mike Vrabel, who's a better head coach than Mike McDaniel, is going to do the exact same thing? But I'll ask you, what's the biggest key to victory against the Patriots? Let me know in the comment section down below. Mine is Michael Penix Jr. Also, the biggest key to victory, stop Drake Maye. I've got some statistics that are going to break down exactly why this guy is so unbelievably talented and why he's playing at an MVP caliber rate in 2025. Now, before I do that, I got to tell you about today's presenting sponsor, and that is our friends over at Harry's. Just one piece of Harry's equipment that I've brought in today, and I've got tons at my house right now. I use Harry's every single day. Let me tell you about what they've got going on right now because their deals are through the roof. Harry's is the best place to take care of your personal grooming habits. Did your old razor dull out way too quickly? Did it irritate your neck? Did they cost way too much? Let's be honest, $30 for 8 refills, it's a total scam. Harry's Plus has an advanced pivoting system to reach every corner of your face, refined blade tech for a closer, smoother shave, and a weighted metal handle for added control and comfort. Why pay $30 for refills when Harry's gives you better blades for a fraction of the cost? With Harry's Plus, you get a barbershop quality shave with German engineered blades. Harry's has launched their most advanced razor ever and is still cheaper than the Gillette Fusion 5. For a limited time, our listeners can get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/chat. This set includes the all-new Harry's Plus razor, one refined 5-blade cartridge, a 2-ounce foaming shave gel, and a travel cover to protect your blades on the go. Just head on over to harrys.com/chat to claim this offer, and after you purchase, they're going to say, "Where'd you hear about us?" Please tell them Moose from Falcons Today sent you. All of that in the comments and description of today's video. So Drake Maye, like I said, is playing at an MVP clip right now. In fact, I did not nearly think his performance in 2025 would be at the standard that it is right now at the beginning of the season. That was something I did wrong. I don't think Drake Maye was a bad quarterback. I just kind of thought he would have been kind of up and down. Well, he's been up and not a lot of down this year. 75% completion percentage, 2,000 yards passing, 15 touchdowns, 3 picks, and a quarterback rating, passer rating of 118.7. Like, if it's not Drake Maye for MVP, it's Jonathan Taylor in Indianapolis. Those are the only two that I think really have an argument this year. And if you don't believe me, our defensive coordinator was going out there talking about how good Drake Maye was. I believe Jeff Ulbrich went to the mic and basically was asked the question, like, how do you stop Drake Maye? And Ulbrich was like, you just got to try to contain him. He's a problem. He's way better than I wanted him to be. He feels like Josh Allen. That's what Jeff Ulbrich said. And if your defensive coordinator, who went up against Josh Allen all the time during his tenure with the New York Jets, you can clearly trust Ulbrich's opinion that Drake Maye has all of the tangibles and intangibles that a guy like Josh Allen has. It's just really early on in his career. Perhaps the biggest reason that Drake Maye is so good this year is his deep ball. He's not just the best deep ball thrower in the NFL. He's like the best deep ball thrower in the last 25 years. These are quarterbacks going back to Drew Brees, to Josh McCown, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. We're going back 25 years since 2000. Well, 1999, but same diff. And Drake Maye, look at him at the very far upper right. This dude is like deadly accurate throwing the ball downfield. So you can expect a lot of downfield shots this coming Sunday against the Atlanta Falcons. Without doing too much Drake Maye glazing, he's also one of 5 quarterbacks in NFL history to have 200-plus passing yards and a 100-plus passer rating in 7 straight games, joining Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Rodgers, and Mahomes. It's Drake Maye, and there's not much else to it. And that's a good thing in the sense of if you take away Drake Maye, they're very one-dimensional as an offense. They are not good at running the football. Now, you could look at that and say, well, how often do they run the football because Drake Maye has been so good? And that might be a really good point. However, you can clearly see that with how good Drake Maye has been, the Patriots running backs, by comparison, are awful. They are currently dead last in the NFL in EPA per rush. They're 32nd in success rate per rush and 29th in yards per rush. Translation, if you drop 8 back in coverage and you rush 3, you should be able to handle Drake Maye. I don't want to say shut him down, but you should be able to handle Drake Maye the exact same way that you handled Josh Allen against the Bills. This is also probably why Ricky Scoops, who's our favorite NFL dog insider, this guy, one of my favorite tweeters of all time, has said just this morning that the Patriots will be adding a new running back via trade by Tuesday at the NFL trade deadline. So clearly they know they're not great at running the football. Ramondre Stevenson also looks like he's not going to play this week, which means your lead back would be Trevion Henderson. A really explosive rookie at times, but they don't really use him a lot. I don't know what Vrabel's deal is. They might not like him. I really don't know what it is, but you should be expecting Trevion Henderson. So if you stack the box against the New England Patriots, you're going to lose. You got to rush 3, rush 4, drop 7 or 8 back in coverage, and just try to contain Drake Maye. And this is exactly why you subscribe. Every single game that the Atlanta Falcons play, we're going to break down from a fundamental standpoint. Not to sound like Coach, oh my God, what's his name, Reed? Coach Kent Murphy. What's up, kids and coaches? I'm Coach Kent Murphy. That's the name. We're going to break this down from a fundamental standpoint. Either way, I digress. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. Never miss a time that we go live or that we put out a video for you. I told you I would give you my score prediction at the end of today's video. Unfortunately, based off of the things that I've seen, adding on with the injuries that we still are kind of up in the air with, I think the Patriots win this game 28-17. I would love it if the Falcons go out and beat the Patriots. I would love it if the Falcons went out there and made this game as close as possible and beat another good team. But the last 2 weeks, only scoring 20 total points, it just doesn't look good from my end, at least not right now. That's going to do it for us on today's episode. A reminder to hit that sub button, hit the like button on today's video, thumbs up icon. And as always, rise up and be cool.